But for all the hours we spend at work, wouldn't it be nice if we were actually engaged and happy in that work? And that's all I'm advocating for. That every single day, people want to show up and do a good job, and they deserve to be happy while they're doing it.
It's easy. You can do it. Come on.
You can only come to my party if you know how to swag surf, okay? I want you to think about your favorite leader. What characteristics would you use to describe them? Are they kind? Are they fair? Are they smart? What are they? And people say lots of different things. Honest, accepting, can get the best out of the people who work with them. They're inspiring. And it doesn't really matter what you say about your leader. It's just, nobody says, I want an unempathetic asshole. I want to talk to you today about empathy. But before I do that, I want to know from you, when you think about the stuff that gets in the way in your work every day, what is it? Rules, time. You got way more time than you need. I tell people me and Beyonce got the same 24 hours in the day, but she uses hers differently, obviously. At work, when stuff gets in the way, we know better than to sit in here with hundreds of our closest employees and say, hey, here are all the things that are getting in the way. So we come to the meeting and we nod our heads up and down and we go, oh yeah, let's sit around and talk about empathy. Sounds like a great idea. And then in the meeting after the meeting, we're like, I don't know about this peace of mind island. What's she talking about? She don't work in my branch, ain't no peace of mind here. And they say things like, you know, it's not personal, it's just business. Do you know who said that first? The mafia. We probably don't want to mirror our organizations after the mafia, just saying. We say things like, you know, leave your emotions at the door. We gotta make logical decisions. As if you're a more logical person because you haven't cried since you were 8. But we repeat these things that create this lack of empathy inside organizations. What would your world be like if people understood you better? If they knew that you lacked a little discipline? If they understood that you were crunched for time? If they knew what it was like to try to work while you've got to take care of these kids? If they knew that some of the rules were just a little too stringent for you to be able to live according to your values of can do, right? First, we have to embrace the idea that empathy can be taught. You are not born empathetic or not. One of those ways is to engage in empathy walks. When I go to the ATM, I notice that there's prompts that I can click if I don't need English, but almost all those questions are in English. So I would have to know English to even get to the second step. And so one thing that I like to invite people to do is, for whomever you're making decisions, take an opportunity to go and see what the experience is like for them. So go to eat at a restaurant where nothing is in English, so you can experience what that feels like, because then it'll give you a lens for how it should be for other people. I need you to be curious and ask questions so that you can learn. This is truly role play. How many of you hate role play? But it's truly role play. I'm asking each of you, because I fundamentally believe this, that if we want it, we have to go first. When I do this, I believe that there's at least one person in the audience, if just one, who can be the spark of empathy in your family, in your community, maybe at work, but somewhere. Because if so, then Kansas City, as the heart of the nation, can be the spark of empathy throughout the rest of the country. Thank you.